midsummer.
David, tell us about your show that you're doing in Florida. Where is it located? When's it going to happen?
Oh, great. Thank you for asking, Terry. I would love to.
Asking.
So here's the.
Thank you for using your manners.
You're very welcome. Sunflow Joe Show in
SoFlo.
What?
Flojo?
Sunflow.
Is she going to be there?
No, seriously. Sunflow.
Sunflow was a good cartoon.
Because there's like SoFlo, Southern Florida, like SoFlo Customs. They do a lot of Jeep stuff. I was wondering if you were calling it SoFlo Joe Show.
No, this is called the Senflo Joe Show. Central Florida Joe Show.
Senflo Raiders.
Show. It is on April 19th of 2026 in Deltona, Florida, the center at Deltona. Our primary guest is going to be designer, comic book artist Mark Pennington, who worked on the Hasbro line from 87 to 89. He did a lot of Terry's favorite characters. He's going to be there, and he does sketches, so you can get some of your favorite characters designed and drawn by him in sketches. We will also have packaging artist and comic book artist Adam Riches will be there. He worked on packaging for Hasbro's classified line and Super 7's packaging reaction line. And we're going to also have Strike Force Alpha creator Matt LaCroix, painter for many, many different O-ring 3 3/4 line toy lines. He did the Fumbles figures, exclusive Fumbles figures at Joe Fest last year. And we are going to have an exclusive figure that is only going to be revealed for our convention. It's a martial arts character from the 70s, will only appear at our show. There will be a limited quantity, so first come, first serve on that. We will also have author.
What format will that figure be in?
What was that?
What format will that exclusive
it'll be an O-ring 3 3/4 format.
Okay.
And it's the first time this character has ever been done by Strike Force Alpha and Matt LaCroix. So it's an awesome character. Trust me. You're going to love it. And you're going to want to get one.
My only concern is...
I'll try to get you one, Terry, okay?
My only concern is that we're going to find out that this is not really David we've been talking to the whole time, but it's Zartan. Welcome to Toy Talk. Toy Talkers. Toy Talkers. That's Terry and I'm Dan. Nice to see you guys once again.
Hello. Thanks
David,
for joining
your
us.
show sounds exciting.
It could be my twin brother, my evil twin brother.
Let's go with Zartan.
I think it's Zartan. Because who else does Zartan impersonate?
Hawk.
Everybody.
Yes.
Everybody.
You
know, that's a whole homage. That whole thing with Hawk is a homage to his 2000X 3-pack that they did with Zartan, Hawk, and like a transformed version in the middle, that O-ring 3-pack that they did. I love that they homage that in there. That's fun.
Yeah, I like it too, man. I haven't read this latest issue yet. I meant to, but have not yet had the opportunity to sit down and read it. Hopefully I can get that done tonight.
So the Toy Talkers across America are talking about how we broke the story on those red, white, and blue GiJoe 250th anniversary.
Yeah.
No, America 250th anniversary. I heard a YouTuber say, "Oh yeah, it's the GiJoe 250th anniversary line." I'm like, I don't remember like George Washington and those guys were like trading figures when they were like fighting the British and, you know, powdering wigs and stuff.
It was probably just little wooden carved little things that they made.
I believe they had 10 soldier type action figures with no.
It might have been how we won the war, though. General Washington might have told the British, like, "Look, you pick your best 5, I pick my best 5.
Now
roll some dice and figure it out."
I got some interesting information. You guys can take what you want of this information, but if you watch the Toy Fair coverage of the Transformers panel, they revealed an exclusive Transformers that was going to be a Pulse stream exclusive, and it was called Air Raid, and it was the 250th anniversary Transformer Air Raid figure design. So now we have Super 7 doing 250th anniversary. We have Transformers with Hasbro doing 250th anniversary.
Isn't Air Raid the Rattler?
It might have been. I don't know.
Man,
it's a bird. It's a bird character.
Man, wouldn't it be awesome? I would buy these in a heartbeat and Army build these. If they did General Washington and Colonial Minutemen in classified scale, tricorn hats and everything, I would freaking go ape, over it, and I'd have to have a whole other shelf full of Colonial soldiers, and then you could do like a Paul Revere and Sam Adams and all those great men. Man, that would be. Hey Hasbro, if you're listening, that's what we want. Legacy, baby. You don't get any more legacy than that.
But that's what I'm talking about, Dan. So Hasbro is already in this pie. They're already doing a Transformer based on this. What do you guys think the possibilities of it classified?
Well, they've done a George Washington before in, I think, the 12-inch scale.
Yeah, they have. They've done everything.
I think that would be amazing.
Dude, they also did a lot of other generals. They did Robert E. Lee. They did Ulysses S. Grant. They did Patton.
Eisenhower.
Yep, they did Sergeant Rock.
Yeah, they did.
Man,
I'm talking about historical, like real people.
Well,
Sergeant Rock wasn't real.
I don't know, was he?
He's pretty real to me.
Crimson red coats, yes.
So I don't know.
Jeremy, if you're listening, you can get a whole bunch of red coats if they do that. General Cornwallis.
Speculate and talk amongst yourselves, chat, and use your imagination.
Yeah, I'd like to have a General Lafayette.
They actually did make a Robert E. Lee figure. I'll see if I can find it and show it.
So that's an interesting thing that people have been putting the pieces together on that, and I'm like, oh, that actually makes sense.
That is really cool. I might have to get one of those now.
But they're like, we can't really do much with it. We can't say much about it. We have to let Hasbro reveal it. Let Hasbro reveal the leak.
I don't think we talked about it last week, and I enjoyed our guest last week. He was really cool.
Yeah, he was a nice guy. I wish we had more time.
The mask toys that are coming out, they showed more mask from Loyal Subject.
Yeah.
Which can segue into something else here.
But there's a bit of a story with that, because one of the interviews that they did with Loyal Subjects, they said there was a delay on production because they're going back, and they kind of hemmed hawed about they had to go and fix some production issues because of all the problems. And I thought, well, I'm surprised they mentioned that. I'm a little surprised they mentioned that. So it's been paused. The production has been paused so they can fix these issues. And they've got Hurricane. They have the black truck. They got a digital version of the Matt Tracker's car. And I think those are the 3 new ones. And because the production was stopped, the things that were on show floor, they were the old ones from the 80s. Those were the 80s mask toys. They weren't the new ones. They were the old ones because they had to stop production.
Quick boomer question here, I guess. The black and gold Thunderhawk, was that the Big Bad Toy Store exclusive? Yes. Or is that something new coming that I can get?
No, that's an exclusive.
Because I think that actually looks better than the other one.
So, yeah, David, let me get this straight. They were showing 80s.
Yep.
Loyal Subjects was showing 80s mask toys like they were going to be okay. That tracks. That makes fucking sense.
Yep.
That Matt
I was stunned. I was absolutely stunned when they said that. I'm like, why are you admitting that on basic national toy?
Because they're just remaking the shit.
I know, because they did say they're trying to keep it as close to the vintage as they can possibly keep it.
Terry, if my son's watching this podcast, he's going to smack your hand about 3 or 4 times.
Probably, yeah.
I get my hand smacked if somebody says something bad, and I don't even say it.
Well, this is a toy podcast. We sometimes have to cover these type of things, and get into the weeds of this stuff because it is interesting that they would do that. I don't understand if you had a toy company. Look, Hasbro wouldn't even talk about the police officer because of what was going on, and they just snuck it under some bad news, like people were getting fired or whatever it was, and they're moving to Boston. They snuck it out.
Though I applaud them for admitting that, because you see like companies in the past like NECA and some others have been accused of really poor quality control.
That's true.
And they try to push back and hey, we're really sorry, we're going to fix it. Yeah. Because that's the one thing I've heard about the new mask stuff. I haven't had any in hand to look at, although I might buy one this week that I saw at the toy mall. The one that my dad I was going to get, but my dad said we'd have to donate the GI Joes or Transformers, so I immediately put it back. The Condor. I was told I could keep two toy lines going because I had a sister and brother, and I often kind of wonder what world we'd live in if they were never born, and how many more toys I could have gotten. No, I'm teasing. But now my sister won't talk to me. But I saw a mask, and there was one kid in the neighborhood that had all the mask toys, and I was going to get the Condor. I saw it. My dad's like, "Oh, that is pretty cool." I was like, "Can I get it?" He goes, "Absolutely." Man, I had that thing in my hand ready to roll, and he's like, "And when we get home, figure out if you want to give up GI Joe or Transformers." And I was like, "Yo, Joe, neither."
I know
that I've got a folder with photos.
Is that the new one or the old one?
It's the original, but I love it. This is my favorite mask toy, so that's why I got it. But I have a couple of the other ones too. I have Rhino right here, and stuff like that. It's pretty beat and worn, but
I thought that was a cool toy line back in the day, and I don't think the cartoon's okay. I don't think it holds up as well as like Sunbow, some of the Sunbow or Filmation stuff. Great concept. It was never really. It was a kind of a short run comic book series initially.
Yeah, 7 issues.
Didn't they do another volume though?
No, only
prior to IDW.
No, the vintage one only had 7 issues. I have all 7 issues. That was okay.
DC did that one. That's probably the problem. Like Marvel had it locked down.
They had Star Comics. They had Star Comics, and there's a lot of stuff from Star Comics.
And speaking of mask and comic books.
Speaking of mask and comic books.
And I was trying to be slick, Terry, because I got an email from Lunar telling me, like, here's the order code for mask. And I was like, what? So soon? Because in the call with Robert Kirkman the other week, it was kind of alluded to, because he said we're going to keep the Energon universe really tight and small. And then but somebody asked about a mask comic. Goes, oh, maybe down the road, and like literally 2 months from now or whatever. But the order code was in the lunar system, so I immediately went to it. There wasn't any pictures, and then as soon as I sent you that message, it popped up publicly. I was like, oh, that's hilarious.
So the full force is who shared all of these.
But this is the worst kept secret, Terry, right? This is the worst kept secret. It's not like we didn't predict this a year ago.
I don't think it was ever intended to be a secret.
Oh, okay.
Don't hold me to that. I just don't think it was intended to be a secret. They didn't try to keep it secret.
Well, then why did they allude it to Dan in his phone call? Why did they just come out and say, we're starting the Mask series in May?
Well, yeah, you're talking about...
Because you got story elements that have to play out first and story points. And I kind of appreciate it. My one fear, especially after the information I gave you guys that I can't really talk about because we were told to keep it confidential, but it'll be the next issue of Transformers and reveal what I'm talking about. We were kind of told, like, they want to keep it small and this and that. And I started getting a fear that, man, are we just redoing the IDW stuff, except for GI Joe, because it's really done well?
Oh, I
didn't think.
That's it. That's the thing. That's the key right there. You just hit it on the head, Dan. They are doing a similar idea, but they're doing it right. They're playing it up.
Yeah. Hasbro wants the shared universe.
Yeah,
they want the shared universe, and I think Kirkman's the guy that can deliver it. But with some of the things I told you about, we already saw with RC. and with what's going to happen with another prominent Autobot, I'm getting kind of nervous that we're retreading IDW material. And then I know a lot of people are confused as to why Matt Tracker looks different.
Faith.
So,
but
can I talk about the Matt Tracker situation? Because there's a lot of people that are not happy about that, but it's not something that's new. Okay, it was originally done in IDW, and then they made the Revolution box set based on the IDW crossover. So then they established he was African American, and now Skybound has carried that over into Skybound. So it's been around for 10 years at minimum, if I'm not mistaken. You can correct me, Dan, if I'm wrong.
It's kind of lasted longer than the original.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't care one way or the other. I personally don't like when they change up characters, just create new ones and make them compelling. Like one of my favorite Joes, you can ask anybody, Stalker, and I could care what color he is. Stalker's just a cool character. I've loved him since I was a kid. In fact, I think I told you this story, Terry. The most artistic I ever was when I was in 4th grade. We had to make the teacher gave us a poster board cut out of a human body, and we had to use construction paper to make who we wanted to be. And I made Stalker. And so the teacher called my parents in because she was concerned that I wanted to grow up and become black. And when they said this in the conference room, I was like, well, I thought Michael Jackson was the only one that could go back and forth. And my parents erupted in laughter, and we're like, we're done here. Like, look at that, a kid that looks at people as people, not colors. And then we went out and bought some Joes. But yeah, and I don't know where that Stalker is. I wish I could find it. That thing would be framed and on display.
So was it the 82 Stalker, or was it the Stalker with
82?
Okay.
I had the camo pattern. I mean, the beret, mustache, everything. And because I wanted to be an Army Ranger. I wanted to be like one of these guys that, I could maybe write a book about. Well, I'll be quiet. But,
yeah, see, I didn't have that one. I had the Stalker that came with the kayak and the Arctic Stalker.
I was very confused about that one when I was a kid.
I love that Stalker. But there's an interesting thing you bring up, and it's very important, Dan. It's because, and I found this with doing interviews and stuff like that, a quality writer that has his salt can do the right things with characters. Like, let's use Larry Hama in G.I. Joe. Keep it in the G.I. Joe realm. Larry Hama, he changed the whole thing with Snake Eyes, right? He created Don Marino, so he wrote around Snake Eyes, right? And he brings Snake Eyes back in issue 300, and he can talk again. So they brought the whole story around the movie where he could talk in the movie, and it takes a good writer to know how to come around and figure out these problems. So if you do a good story, you write the characters properly and with good characterization and good drama stuff, you can do whatever you need to do to get to whatever you need to do. Ethnicity, racial, have a voice, not have a voice, whatever you want to do. Timothy Zahn told me one time, because of how Disney did away with Star Wars legacy, the Legends Star Wars all got wiped out when Disney got Star Wars. And I interviewed Timothy Zahn one time. I said, what are you going to do? They kind of wiped out the whole Thrawn, Heir to the Empire, 3 novels that you did. He says, they didn't do that because I'm a writer. I can write around Disney. And I think that's the key here, is if you're a good writer, you know what you're doing and you know what you're talking about, you can write around this. Doing what they did with Matt Tracker, I think, is just a cheap gimmick.
They do that across multiple different properties with different characters, and I feel like it cheapens the character itself whenever they race or gender swap just for the sake of race or gender swapping. It's almost like these companies feel like they can't create an original character that's going to be strong enough of that race or gender to hold its own, which has been proven wildly fucking wrong.
Exactly.
But
there's another hand slap, Terry. So
look at
one of the Energon series I did not like, which I wanted to love, was Scarlet, because I love Scarlet. I think she's an awesome character. And the thing that drives me nuts is like she just kind of came off as like wishy-washy. And if you go back and watch the cartoon, because they'll say, "Oh, you can't," because like if you say, "Well, I didn't like the Scarlet series," somebody said, "What, do you don't like female heroes?" And I'm like, no, I love female heroes. I grew up watching Scarlet and Lady J command the Joe guys around.
Yeah.
She was one of the commanders. I mean, unofficially, I get like a team leader. And even in my pitch, I had her where it was like Hawk and then Stalker and Scarlet. Look at that, Stalker and Scarlet. And I'm like, Scarlet doesn't need Jinxie to save her or whatever. She pulls a bobby pin out of her hair, undoes her cuffs, and smacks Storm Shadow with a chain, which a lot of people forget that. I've got a guy out there, Scott, if you're watching, you probably not, who absolutely loves Storm Shadow. And we always get in these debates who would win, Snake Eyes or Storm Shadow. I'm like, it doesn't matter. Scarlet already beat Storm Shadow. She knocked him out with a chain in issue 21. So
to this comment, G.I. Joe made every kid in America feel seen. They made every kid in America feel
absolutely
like they mattered, regardless of anything in their background. That's
a beautiful statement. Who said that?
Feel seen.
Who's saying that?
Mike Ray.
Well, if we had like awards to give out, like a free membership to our Only Toys site, you would get one, my friend, because that's a very beautiful statement. Yeah. And I agree 110%.
And that's
like I get a kick out of watching Sunbow because, man, everybody seemed like they were the way those voice actors worked, the way the writing was, regardless of the situation. And then one of the things that the guy that did Flint's voice said that like some of the situations that Joe's ran were ridiculous, but we had to sell it like it was the most important thing on earth. Yeah. And they did. And like just like when Spirit shows up, like the one where they take over the animals. Yeah. And Scarlet and Ripcord are captured, drowning in spiders, which is like a fate worse than death.
Love it.
And Flint's like, if only we could get in there. And Spirit's like, I may know two men. And Spirit and Snake Eyes go take care of it. Like Spirit was just a complete badass, and all of them were. And that guy's right. Every kid, if you were a Bostonian, there's Cutter. If you're a Native American, there's Airborne and Spirit. If you're from Detroit, there's Stalker. If you're from Kentucky, there's Thunder. You know, everybody mattered, and it was just very cool. And it could be any of us. Yeah. Any of us could have been them. That's the neat thing.
And that's the thing.
One of the reasons G.I. Joe sticks around is because we can't go be Batman or Superman, or we can't go be Transformers.
This is another reason why I wish that the Classified series had more representation in comic books and other media, because we have new characters that are being created, like Wolf Spider's Indian, and you have Sundown, who's Latino. Like, I wish that we had more representation of these new characters in comic books, which we may. Depending on where Energon goes, it may happen.
Yeah, it may happen. But yeah, I think that's the thing. And I think for this type of thing, it's just cheapens the brand. It cheapens the character to say anybody could be that character. That character can't stand on its own now. He has to be African-American or whatever.
I mean, imagine if they made Spirit a white guy.
Hey, Terry.
Man, I'd be furious.
The guy that made that statement, would you ask him to message you his address? I'm going to send him an autograph copy of my Dominus book, because that was just a very awesome statement, and that's really cool. It makes me proud of our toy talkers out there, because that G.I. Joe truly represents the best of America. It doesn't lower the standard. It doesn't whatever. It's the best of America,
right?
You know, and it's sometimes it looks like the Village People, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Love it.
So there's also Energon Universe Special, which comes out on, it's not called Free Comic Book Day anymore. It's called like something else Comic Day.
We're straight up calling it Free Comic Book Day.
Oh, you're still calling it that?
Oh, so yeah, and it's advertised. It's Comic Giveaway Day is what the politically correct term is, but there's some vendors are still calling it Free Comic Book Day, and we will be referring to it as Free Comic Book Day.
So it's the Energon Universe 2026 special,
Yes.
This appears to be the cover for either Transformers or Void Rivals. It looks very similar to Void Rivals.
It's a variant cover of that special. That's why it says Energon Universe on it.
Yeah, I understand that. I'm saying that this cover features artwork from either Transformers or Void Rivals. Probably Void Rivals character.
So we just glossed over. We just talked about it. Got distracted by a very beautiful statement. The Mask comic book that's coming. What do you guys think?
Well, you think this classified story is the Mask story before the Mask issue 1 comes out, Dan?
I think Robert said that it's going to be 4 stories. I think, I know the last one was 3 stories.
That's the Transformers story, I believe.
Is this the Transformers story?
Yes, we believe she's the female character that's in Transformers. Remember, there's the boy and the girl. I think that's the girl. We don't know 100%, but we think it's her.
I don't know.
Let me ask you guys,
Carly.
Let me go on a side tangent here real quick with you all. Since it looks like we are doing a shared universe because Mask is coming. Visionaries was mentioned, and I'm going to get all my hopes and all up and get excited. Do you think that maybe the Dire Wraiths are coming out of the Sacred Ring?
Yes,
dude.
And maybe the Void Rival folks become the Space Knights.
Possibly.
How cool would that be, man? And I get Rom back and I haven't seen these yet.
These are all the covers to that Energon Universe free comic book day special. There's 4 variants. This is the GiJoe variant. Book. The other one's a Transformers variant. The other one's a Void Rival variant.
So this is probably the one that's going to be paid for because there's the free one, which is only one cover. And then they reissue it with a paid version with multiple
That'll be the
covers.
Week after.
You have
2 weeks after, something like that.
Obviously. But what is this? Is this cover going to be for
that special?
Huh?
That's part of the special. There's 4
David, before we go any further, I understand this is all part of the special. It all has the same title up there at the top. It's one of the variant covers. But what is this variant cover? It says classified. It's all blacked out. We have this for the GiJoe cover. We have this for maybe Transformers themed. You have this one, which looks like Void Rivals artwork. And this one would be maybe Mask or...
That could be... I know like the 2 years previous, the Energon special was blacked out like that for Free Comic Book Day because they didn't want to... But like once it comes out, it'll show the cover. So that might be what it is. They just don't want to show the cover yet. But I assume that Mask will have some part, or characters in Mask will have some part in it.
Yep.
I don't know for certain, but I just assume that.
Visionaries cameo in one of these specials.
What was that?
I said I think it would be great if we could get a Visionaries cameo in one of the special.
Well, they're coming back as a toy.
They mentioned, see, that makes sense. You know, the whole synergy of everything. You know, they got a toy coming out. They mentioned Prismos in the comics. You know, possibly through that other dimension, the other side of the portal. Maybe that's where we get Visionaries. Maybe that's where we get Rom. You know, it's who knows.
Man, wouldn't it be cool? Wouldn't it be cool if we got Inhumanoids also?
I think that would be an Earth-based type of thing. And Micronauts would be in like the microverse of Earth. But I think maybe down the road, I would love to get all those properties.
Man, that'd be cool. Do it right.
I know Brian Flynn's been working on Inhumans. He says the rights are very tied up, so they're having a hard time getting them untied. But he would love to do Inhumanoids, he said.
Gosh, I wonder what they would charge for Nintendril.
It'd be pretty big, I tell you that.
Because they were trying to get 500 for that Tiamat dragon, and that was a bit much.
Oh, 500 for that?
I think it was 500.
For what?
I've been more.
Tiamat from Dungeons and Dragons?
Yeah, I think he was like 500. Because as soon as they announced it, me and a buddy were like, "Yeah, we're gonna get that." And then when they announced the price, we're like, "Yeah, I don't know." Dragonfly, Tiamat. I would love to have that Tiamat. Looks pretty good. I mean, I thought it did.
So who was it that did a giant dragon? I cannot remember the name of it for some reason right now. Mythic Legions?
Yes.
Probably. It sounds.
Mythic
It
Legions
sounds.
did the giant dragon. I'll see if I can pull that up real quick.
Oh,
Of course, you also had the big dragon from He-Man, which I can never remember his name.
Granomir.
I loved him in the cartoon.
They did maybe 2 versions of Granomir. I can't recall. But yeah, there's a lot of dragons out there. Todd McFarlane did several series of dragons that are really nice. They revisited a couple years ago again.
Those are really cool.
Yeah, that stuff's cool.
So that I think it's so cool what they were getting Sundown. And that, like we were saying last week, that could be like the descendant of Sundown and Cops.
Yeah, but they said that is not. They specifically said it was not.
I just thought of something. Here's a freebie for you, Skybound. Because Chicago got wrecked and ruined by the Transformers, and they also just lost the Chicago Bears. Maybe we can. That's pretty awesome. Maybe
dude, it's huge.
Maybe they can rebuild Chicago and the Empire City and create Cops.
Yeah, that's an interesting idea.
That is pretty cool.
I wanted this really bad. They did
that's the Mythic Legions?
Is it?
Yes.
How much was it?
Oh, dude, I want to say that it was either it was between $500 and $800.
It's big though. They had it at Joe Fest.
That's what she said.
Huge.
Yeah, this thing's monstrous. And it comes with 6-inch figures too. So.
Yep. There's so much stuff out there. I wish I was independently wealthy. I could get a lot of this stuff, but I just can't. It's just sad. But it is the way it is. We have to deal with what we deal. We're getting our classified figures, which I'm a little surprised we're getting these so soon. We did order them, I guess, the end of September, early October, right? They
were originally 2025 figures, and they got pushed out to 2026. We would have had ours not this week, but the week before. But I was on vacation, and I'm the one that kind of handles the toy deliveries.
You know what makes me sick about this?
About what?
About these new figures coming out.
What's that?
This.
Oh, yeah, because Walmart, they're stupid. I told you. They're stupid. They don't know. One hand doesn't know what the other hand is doing. They don't realize this is a brand new wave, that it's not supposed to be clearance. Should be on their peg hooks when they do the reset in February. But they're dumb. They don't know what the frick they're doing.
Well, have you guys seen this thing where Crimson Guard, Cobra Law guards are showing up at Target?
Yes. Yeah. Which, the thing about the Cobra Law guards, we did get 2 things from the port that nobody had names for. One of them was Terra. That was the $60 one. Then there was another one that was $42.99. I believe that was probably the Royal Guard. But we did announce those things. We did report on them quite a while ago that they were coming in on the port. So
one of my buddies, before we got on the show, messaged me that he'd been to like 4 or 5 Targets and didn't find any. And then some guy in a local toy group posted he had 6 of them. So I'm sure they'll be at the Louisville Toy Mall for $100 each.
Hell yeah.
Or you can just wait and get them at the Zone when we get them in.
Dan,
so just a little bit of background on this photo. A friend of mine that lives in New Hampshire, he found these. It was 1 to 2 days ago. He was in Walmart in the morning and found these on clearance for $21. My assumption is that they don't have the mod set yet to have these figures out on the shelves.
They just assumed they were the same as the others.
Yeah, and they just came in and they threw them on clearance to get rid of them.
Yep, that's exactly what happened.
$21 a piece. Why the hell am I ordering from Hasbro? Damn near $30 a piece.
Because they don't know what they're doing. I told you. They're like a huge damn ship. You can't move this thing. It takes like 50 people to get this thing to move in a certain direction. To fix this problem, they'll never fix it.
So there's no Walmart stores anywhere around me that I've seen, and I've been in several of them in like just the general vicinity of where I live. None of them carry GI Joe stuff anymore. They've all stopped carrying it.
But a lot of the things that have been shown off are in Indiana. You're in Indiana, right?
And I don't get that, dude. There's like nothing down here. Like none of the Walmarts anywhere around me have any GI Joe stuff. They don't even have places. They don't even have spots for them in their modular.
Well, here's what think might be going on with some of that too is, well, and this Amazon just dethroned Walmart as the top retailer. Um, they're Walmart, like you said, David. It's a mess.
It's too
But
big.
I
They can't.
but I know there's a couple of guys locally that own shops. I guess we'll call them shops, and they go around and they buy stuff out from because they'll get big box is going to get. Sometimes my store will get stuff before big box, or we get it within about 2 weeks. At one time I think we went like 3 months, but generally we're going to get it right. So they'll go around and they'll hit every Walmart. They're not busy in their stores because they don't do business. So they have time to go to every Walmart and Target in the tri-state area, and they got people that they give money to that will, as soon as these come in, they go right to their car. They're buying them, but then they'll like.
This guy Miker makes a very smart comment here, Dan. Sorry for interrupting you, but this guy makes a very smart comment. You know why that is probably the case at your Walmart, Mike Ray, is because the person that's in the toy department or the people that are working there care about the department, and they know what's going on, and they have their ears to the ground, and they know how this stuff works. Where 99.9% of the people that work in toys could give a rat's butt about toys.
That's
Why do you think you have to be like a passionate person about toys? Just do your job.
Well, they don't like toys. Walmart does not like toys.
My ideal is not to be working at a car wash, but if I did, I would do the best job I could because I work there.
You'd think so, but not.
And I would learn what I need to learn, to survive and do a good job. And I mean, it's like, yeah, I mean, it's just silly.
Not everybody has that attitude.
I don't know if this is going to help toys or not, but I was listening to some reports. I just said Amazon dethroned Walmart. Walmart sales are still incredibly high. Target's had some issues, but Target's got a whole new endeavor now where they're getting rid of like corporate jobs and they're going to hire more people in the store and to come up and say hello and do you have a question or hey, I'm not looking lost on purpose. I need help, so they'll come help you.
Smart.
So I'm wondering if Target, maybe we'll start to get products in Target and them actually be done right because you'll have more staff. Because when you have like 5 people, the big Target by my home, there was one time, man, a few years ago, they had 5 people running the whole store on a Sunday, and they had probably 1,000 people in that store.
This is what happens when you don't have real toy stores anymore. The way I look at this is that real toy stores were kind of killed out of the market by online retailers,
Amazon,
digital e-stores and whatnot, being able to sell the product shipped at a cheaper price than what a lot of these toy stores were pricing their toys at.
Yep, you're right. You're 100% right.
And I think a lot of that can be blamed on the producers of the toys themselves because you make out, like it's funny because people will go still buy Marvel Legends and GI Joes at Best Buy and GameStop when I don't understand why.
GameStop is starting to close stores. They closed the one really close to my house, and I've heard reports they're closing ones all across the country.
They should have been gone 5 years ago because their crooked practices, how they rip people off on old games. But like they have the exact same buying power as me. So my Joes are $25, right? That's retail. Theirs is like 38, 35. And I'm like, why? They're like, well, it's, they're buying. Like, no, we have the same buying power because we're under the same division in Hasbro called, shoot, I'm sorry, my brain just went blank. But anyway, I don't know why they price them that high. And then what was it, FYE, which I'm not sure what those are. I guess they were like a music movie store or something. Like they were
for your entertainment.
Yeah, okay. So they were pricing them. I had people like, oh yeah, I had to go buy this Marvel Legend for $40. And I'm like, why? We had it for 20. Well, this was like back when they were 20. And it's like we have the same buying power. Fans Channel, I'm sorry. I had a brain fart. Fans Channel. We're all part of Fans Channel. And we all have the same buying power. Now, Walmart and Target are going to be different because they're big box. There's big box, Fans Channel, and then Hasbro itself. And I don't understand. Like, do something like when we had toy stores. I guess Toys R Us would have been big box. Well, I don't know. I think like in the
They're
last 2
starting
years
to
they
come
might have been
back.
switched.
They are starting to come back, Toys R Us, but they're not coming back fast enough.
Yeah, and I think it's great. And people are like, well, it's more competition for you. Great. Keep us on our toes. If I can't find it, you can't find it in my store, you can find it there. Or vice versa. And because I always had a good relationship with Toys R Us. And I do think we need dedicated toy stores, and I think has the Hasbro's and Mattels and Playmates of the world and Lego need to sit down and say like, hey, we don't want our product to be an afterthought. We want it to be the only thought, and let's do something for that. So it can be done. But yeah, I think part of the problem was that people succumb to Walmart, they succumb to online, then they don't want to buy it online or at Walmart. They want to wait till it goes to a deep discounter like Ollie's or what's the other one, Michael's or something, Ross, yeah,
RossCon.
and the other guy from Friends. But it's like it's just kind of like
they actually have their own Facebook group now, RossCon. Like, what the hell is this, people?
I see that, and I'm like, I just don't have the time to run around or the patience.
Nope,
I went in there looking for on the off chance they might have had a piece of furniture that matched a little end table that we got last summer. And I thought, oh, you know what? While I'm in here, I'll go look and see if they have any Joes. And man, the long line they had, this was like in the Christmas season though. I thought, man, I don't ever want to commit a sin because this is hell. Even if I found something, I wanted to take a picture and be like, tell my priest, you need to show this when you give the homily. This is why you don't commit sin, because you'll end up in this line. Like, no one was happy. The men looked miserable. The women looked miserable. The merchandise looked miserable. Everybody was miserable. I was like, I don't even care if they have a dragonfly at Ross or whatever I'm at. I'm not buying it because I ain't standing in this line for 3 hours.
It's the holidays. It's going to be like that at retail, regardless of what retail you're in. It's going to be like that.
Oh, sure.
Lines. And then the associate's going to be
on me to go in there at that time.
But the associates are also miserable because they're having to deal with people that are jerks and a-holes. Every single customer. Hey, why didn't you do it? Why did you do that? Why did you do that?
Put your stuff back. If you're not going to buy it, go put it back.
Yeah.
Don't throw it on the floor. I one time worked at Ladies' Shoes at Dillard's, and that's the closest to hell on earth. And I was in an affluent part of town, and these women would pick up the shoes off the clearance rack and just throw them on the floor.
Yeah. We got a TJ Maxx and a Burlington and a Ross and an Ollie's and all that shit in there at Clarksville. And like I never go in any of those stores. The only store near any of those I ever go into is Hobby Lobby, because they have the little bottles of Testors paint that I use that nobody else seems to sell unless you want to pay $7 or $8 a bottle on Amazon.
Oh boy!
Yeah, but when you go on Amazon to buy that, you'll buy some hair gel, Terry. That'll save you money.
I don't buy hair gel, but what I do buy is my favorite brand of hairspray, Aquanet. Aquanet Extra Super Hold.
Our first sponsor. I don't recommend.
3 bottles of Aquanet Extra Super Hold, unscented. It's very important that you're buying the unscented version. I buy these in 3 packs on Amazon, and they last me for a little while.
Yeah, Terry, I was gonna say, I noticed you've been doing something different with your hair up top there.
I just give it a little.
Your beer.
Give it a little spray, and it leaves a nice gloss finish to the scalp.
That's what he uses the paint for, to paint his head.
But I don't like the racket of it. I will go into Toys R Us. I'm not Toys R Us, a Target and Walmart from time to time, just for generic purposes. I don't expect to find anything, but I buy the things that I actually want from Hasbro Pulse or Target or from Walmart, the exclusives, and that is it. Because I'm not playing these games. I have a Pulse Premium membership, and I'm saving. I buy probably 2,000 items a year, saving on that shipping, and I got my figures pretty quick. I'm very happy.
So
I think it's great.
I know that I've shown this stuff before, and people have asked what I use it for. So I do a lot of 3D printing, and I see like in the Facebook groups and forums and whatnot for 3D printers where people are using like the purple glue stick or they're having adhesion problems. I had adhesion problems on one of my build plates when I first started, and I couldn't figure out what was wrong with it. I tried everything. I tried washing the thing with like Dawn dish soap and super hot water and not touching it, wiping it down with alcohol. I got this tip from a friend of mine, but I started using Aquanet Extra Super Hold, unscented, just spray a coating of it on the build plate, and I have not had an adhesion problem since I started using this, and I don't ever wash my plates, and everything comes out great now.
You know, what's funny is people say, "Man, your hair looks nice today." I'm like, "Thanks. What product do you use?" And I'm like, "I take Terry's 3D printed items and rub it in my hair, and my hair just kind of stays, and it doesn't mess up." So thanks, Terry. I appreciate that.
Anytime. I've got a video that I need to post later this evening for assembly of a classified scale devilfish.
Yeah,
and
that picture you sent looked really cool.
Can you send me one of those, Terry?
Yeah, I can.
$50, right?
No, they take a lot to print, but a lot of time and a lot of material. But here's the seat for one.
Holy cow!
Yeah, it's pretty big. You'll see in the video when I get it posted. But
we'll save some of those for July.
Dude, I don't know if I can get enough stuff printed for July or not. I'm going to try to. I'll hopefully have some of that, but I'll also hopefully have a table set up for Templars, the Mask of Mordred Kickstarter release. The figure sculpting should start here within the next day or so. I've been talking to the sculptor. He's got a preliminary concept thrown together for the first figure that we're sculpting, and that will be one of the Templars characters, Elias. He will share some parts with another figure, but we've got the basics of that one put together, and the look, it needs some refinement, needs some detail added, but digital sculpting is beginning on the action figure line. Plus, now thanks to Dan, we have 10 pages of the Mask of Mordred comic scripted, and those are actually with our artist right now to get the sketches out to us for pages 7 through 10.
Funny thing, real quick. When I sent the script to Terry, I think it was the last page, maybe page 10. Terry messaged me and said, "Hey, what happened to the bad guy that was attacking character X?" I was like, "Oh yeah, page like 7. Oh yeah, there it is." I was like, "Oh crap, did I forget one?"
It was so subtle that I missed it, and so did Zoo.
Oh, that's funny. You gotta stay on Zoo. You gotta stay on him sometimes.
But yeah, he is so great to work with, man.
When we were working on Dominus 2, and this is, I guess I can do spoilers now because it came out a couple years ago. The main character Thomas hires a ninja clan to be his bodyguards, and so I had one female ninja who was the leader. She had to look a certain way, like hair color, body, all that. And then I said, "Do what you want with the others." And he put a fat ninja in there. And he's like, "What'd you think of the fat ninja?" And I was like, he goes, "You're not going to kill him, are you? Can we keep him in there?" I'm like, "No, I love it." And he goes, "He's got to be a really good ninja to be so fat and to sneak around like he does." I was like, "No, I love it. It's brilliant. We'll keep him in there." So he was so terrified that I was going to kill off some of these ninjas, and I didn't. Now book 3's coming, and who knows what's going to happen in that. But yeah, it was so funny. He put a fat ninja in there, and he was like, "I just thought we have to appreciate his prowess that he's that big and can sneak around."
Well, they had a fat ninja in the Karate Kid TV series. There was a fat ninja guy. What was his name?
One of the sumo guy, or I'm thinking Chuck Norris.
Remember the chubby guy in Cobra Kai?
I didn't watch any of that.
Oh, I need to finish that. I need to finish it.
It's predictable, but I really love the heart of it all. It's fun, fantastic.
I cheated and watched the scene with Johnny and Kreese at the end.
Oh yeah,
and it choked me up a little bit. That was pretty good.
There's a lot of
pretty
heart.
good. Oh yeah.
But there's a chubby guy that's in there, and he's funny.
I know who you're talking about. I've made it that far in it, but yeah, that's a great show, Terry. If you've not watched it, and I think Karate Kid 1 and 2 are really great movies. They were in the greatest decade of all time, the 1980s. And then on top of that, if you watch Cobra Kai, at least season 1, and go back and rewatch the original Karate Kid, you can kind of see that Daniel's not the good guy, that it's kind of lines of gray. It's just perspective.
See,
but it makes it an even better movie.
Story, man.
Yeah.
What's that?
I've heard that it's a really good story.
And it has its own twists and turns.
Yeah.
I had somebody tell me about it. This was back when it was on YouTube. It was a YouTube show. Like the first episode, I think, was free, and then you had to sign up for YouTube or something.
Yeah, the first two
Netflix
seasons
got it.
First two seasons were YouTube.
It was. Yeah, I watched it and I was like, "This is funny. It's got heart." It's like this is what Disney should have done with Star Wars instead of what they did.
Hopefully,
somebody messaged me after our
correcting the steering there.
After our Toy Fair show, and I my Hasbro comment about Chris Cox.
Oh boy!
And they said, "Did you see the pathetic, piss poor offerings for the Mandalorian Grogu movie? Like literal repaints."
It was all stormtroopers except for what's her face from.
Yeah, here's the thing, man. Are you surprised that it's all nothing but repaints for a totally new series?
I don't understand why they even renewed the license, because they have no control over that license whatsoever. If they don't produce product, they get fined by Disney. I would just be better to let it go. Let somebody else have it and have the headache, and then focus on your brands.
I've always wanted a Sigourney Weaver figure in a Starfighter outfit, though.
Like with independent toy lines, I totally understand why they use a lot of repainted or recolored pieces and parts between different figures, because it's super expensive. All of this stuff is super expensive to have designed, to have done, to have made. But a company like Hasbro making something like Star Wars and just consistently reusing the same stuff over and over and over and charging such a premium for it, just to me doesn't make any sense. I mean, they could afford to make a new product and still make it profitable.
Yeah. Well, it's
even more profitable if they would just make something new and original for it.
I don't have any dog in there.
Terry, out of that entire wave of 5 or so figures, the only new thing in that entire thing is Sigourney Weaver's head.
And I don't have a dog in the Mandalorian movie fight. I don't care if it does good or does bad. I don't care either way. It's not for me. But man, like, there's got to be more than Mando, Grogu, and some stormtroopers. Like, put some alien characters in there. Just something to make the line look. And I guess the Razor Crest is back. And I'm like, well, how's the Razor Crest back?
They did make a little statement when they showed the Hadro Pulse reveals of the whole thing. They said this is just wave 1. So there may be other things coming, but this is the initial wave. I think that's a big mistake, to make your initial wave all reprints and redecos.
And all that, and boring.
There's no excitement there. It's boring. Exactly. So how
as boring as the teaser trailer they showed at the Super Bowl.
It's like, give me a break.
Yeah, I'm not a big Star Wars fan. Like
I
used to be. I love the original trilogy, and I'm thinking about at some point, like probably when I win the lottery, going back and recollecting the vintage Star Wars I used to have. But
they're doing new Kenner versions, you know.
But I mean,
the Kenner versions.
Yeah, I just don't think they look that great. I hate the way they do the cards. Like, oh, look how clever! It's like it's weathered. Like, just do. I read card GI Joes all the time, and it says reproduction. Like, put reproduction on there or whatever. Obviously, it's not going to be if it's got copyright 2026. Oh, is this a 1978 Star Wars toy, or no? It's from 2026. You know, there's ways around that. Because I was excited when they said they were going to do that, because I thought, man, that's a smart move. Just like if Hasbro would reproduce all of a Real American Hero, or at least the first few waves, and don't do it cheesy, just do it legit. I mean, they could make some good money. I don't need gung ho and
look cool.
I don't need Gung Ho and Airborne in a 2-pack for $40.
But look, they're doing redecos of the original figures through Super 7 Reaction Plus with Flash, and I don't care for that Flash.
I was just talking to somebody about all the O-ring stuff that's coming out, and like Hasbro, the way they approached the O-ring figures when they first started putting them back out in the 2-packs, like the way that they released them, if they would have done it just single-carded figures in a small, like 4-figure wave, kind of like what Super 7's doing, I think that it would have worked out a whole lot better for them.
Absolutely.
New sculpts, like update the look and everything. Dude, that Duke that they put out with Cobra Commander looks terrible.
It's terrible.
The O-face Duke, it looks ridiculous. Like it could have been so much better.
Yeah, it could have been.
It was a half-hearted effort. And
they mailed it in. They mailed that in.
You can't be a cutting-edge toy company and do it half-hearted.
Yep, that's the problem.
You know, to use a sports analogy, everybody knows I'm a huge Dallas Cowboys. It's a terminal illness. And we had a horrible defensive coach, and it showed in our season. And we hired a new one, and it wasn't a retread of somebody that was a coach somewhere that got fired. It's a new guy, and listening to him talk, his whole mindset, his philosophy, the people he's brought in, it's all defense oriented. Talking about Marcus Aurelius and all this stuff. It's like, that's what you need, cutting edge. You need something different.
That's the thing, Dan. That's the thing. They put in so much energy, and you can see when they put the energy into something. Like they did it with Rot Claw and the Dionychus. They did it with Sundown. They did it with Don Moreno. You can see when they put the effort, they take that extra step, and they do really cool stuff. But you can tell when they mail it in, and that's the case. The O-ring stuff has been mailed in from Hasbro.
I think sadly they were banking on they could put out anything with GI Joe,
and we would just buy it like
we would lap it up
because
we were so excited that we finally got GI Joe in the common scale of action figures.
Yeah,
you know, in this day and age. But no, I think you're right, Terry. I think that they did it a little differently, and I like what Super 7's doing with it. I just wish they would do more of it and get some vehicles and play sets. You know, and that the damn helicopter that David's always talking about.
I heard a rumor, and I don't know how real this is, but there's a rumor that the kaiju that was released like 8 or so years ago, that someone did that big vinyl version, that Super 7 might be doing the kaiju as a figure this year. That's the thing.
Good. I hope they do. That would be great, man.
Speaking of kaijus, I'm a little late to this party, but I finally saw Godzilla -1.
What? That is a phenomenal movie. What took you so long?
I should have waited and said my thoughts were, and then Terry could end the show right then and there. My bad. I just missed up a great opportunity. Maybe I'll go back to it. I'll wait till 2:59 and I'll rehash that.
Phenomenal movie.
Yeah, everybody forget we just had this conversation. I'm going to do it in 2 minutes. So
Which version did you see? Did you see the color version or the black and white version? Because if you watch the black and white version,
in 2 minutes.
It's even better.
I'll tell you in 3 minutes, actually.
Oh, all right.
I'm excited about what they've got going on. There's a lot of fun stuff, man.
Dude, my daughter likes all the Godzilla movies. I think we've watched pretty much all of the new MonsterVerse Godzilla movies.
The new one's going to be awesome with what is it, Godzilla +1 or plus?
Okay, so I can't play this game. I loved it. I thought it was amazing. Like I got a little teary-eyed at the end of the movie when he finds out his girl's still alive.
So
like, just what a beautiful story, and it just you know, I think that the main character did the right thing by not being a kamikaze at the end. Like you said, what's the point? The war's over, and how Godzilla was mutated because of the atom bomb.
So what era does Godzilla -1 take place in? I don't know if I've seen it or not.
1956, I believe.
No, post-World War II.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah.
Because the Japanese had not surrendered yet, and we were going through attacking the islands, and there was one island we left alone, and there was a very early version of Godzilla that attacked that island.
Yeah.
Because the pilot and one mechanic were the only people that survived.
Yes.
All right, so I'm probably going to have to go watch that now. What's it on right now? Where can I stream it?
Netflix.
Oh, well, then I won't be able to watch it because I don't have Netflix.
Oh.
You could probably do some sort of purchase thing if you have another server like HBO.
Terry, I'm just
or
gonna tell you,
something.
go buy the
You
Blu-ray.
can probably do a purchase or whatever.
I'm not going to buy physical media because I already have streaming services and stuff that I pay for, and I don't like renting stuff on streaming services. Like right now, the only option that I have to watch this movie is going to be on Amazon Prime. If I pay the $5 to rent it, which I don't care to pay the $5 for it, but it's The Green Knight. I want to watch that movie pretty bad. And
my only regret about -1 is I wish I saw it in the theater.
Yeah. Oh, it's
because there's just in a scene that the story's a little bit complicated, but it's very well done. But just when the kamikaze pilot takes a job where he's a gunner on a boat trying to destroy our mines, the Japanese and American mines that were left in the water, and he's on the boat, and you just see Godzilla's head come up, and it's like